Okay, so this is first episode of the Bearded Barbecue Brothers. We are going to cover some pretty basics on meat preparation because any good tasting meat starts with good preparation. So on this, we're going to show how to properly trim a chicken breast. Right here, this is the main part of the breast, and then this part right here on the side, the little flap right here, this is the tender. So the first thing you want to do is you want to cut off the tender. And you slice that right off, and you can separate it. You can separate the meat from the fat on this if you would like, and then you can make little bites, little bite-sized things for if you're serving up for a party. You can cut these off and then throw these in a pan. You can bread them up a little bit, throw them in a pan, and have them ready for people to come over. So there's that, and you just take the fat on there, just throw that away, throw that on the side. So there's some connective tissue right here. This is the part on the chicken breast that's really gross if it's not taken out. So if you just slice in and slice it up like that, see, cut out just a little tiny chunk right there. We don't want to lose too much of the actual meat off there. So you can see there's minimal meat loss. But with that connective tissue gone out of there, it's going to make the chicken taste a whole lot better. So we'll flip it over. On this side, right here, this is the part where it connects up to the other half of the breast before it gets cut apart at the butcher. So if you just take your knife, if your knife is sharp enough, take it, slide it under there. Just take this and cut that off so it's nice and clean. Get that and come back. This is really helpful because it gets rid of the any excess fat. And sometimes when they cut it at the butcher, they accidentally leave some of the bone in there. And if you go and you grill this up with that in there, you might get some unexpected bone in the mouth, which is very painful. It goes into your cheek, or if you bite into it, then you just want to just do a quick spot check to see if there are any other chunks of fat on there. And then if you're going to throw the chicken breast out onto your grill or cook it in a pan, like on your stove top, or if you're going to put it in your smoker, what you want to do is get it, flip it up on its side, so the part that was connected to the other breast on the breastbone, get it so that part is facing up, and then take your knife and start to cut into it. So you're going to cut about halfway through, but you don't want to cut all the way down. So we're just going to butterfly the breast right here. So we've got that. So you can see how it opens it up just like this. Now, the reason we do this is because if you notice with this breast right here, when this cooks, we're going to get this part right here that will end up being raw by the time that this part down here is fully cooked, and that is not desirable. So on some of the larger breasts, if we flip it onto the bottom part, this piece right here, which is this piece right here on the breast before it's cut into, that's a little bit thicker. So if we cut it open, we butterfly it like that, then you take your knife, you slice just a little bit into it like that. That helps spread that out evenly. And then we've got a nice uniform width chicken breast, so when you throw that out onto the grill, smoker, or pan in your on your stovetop, it cooks it nice and evenly, so then you don't have to worry about hot spots and parts drying out. And then this way, this is the first step in getting chicken breast that is not dry. I'm going to do the same thing to this one right here. We'll just cut off the tender. You can kind of see this one's slightly larger. We'll just cut it off. So there's the tender. We'll set that up. And then you can see right here, this connective tissue right in here is actually a lot thicker than it was on the previous breast. So once again, just cut into it. Try to leave as much meat on there as possible. I did take off a little extra on that one. I just want to make sure that I got it all out though. And then you can see that see this extra layer of fat right here. This is just surface fat, and so if you don't cut that off, it's not really that big of a deal. Then sometimes the chicken breast will have extra fat on this side also. Really, we just want to make sure that we're getting off the fat on a chicken. Fat on beef or pork is actually pretty good. It tastes good when it's cooked, especially if you're going to cook it low and slow on a smoker like what we do. It doesn't taste bad, but yeah, bird fat does not taste good. That, in my opinion, that's why they're called foul. It's because bird fat tastes very foul. So we'll get this one. We'll cut into it halfway. See, like that. We'll butterfly it out. You can see on this one, you might not be able to see it as well, but it actually humps up right here. Now this is the piece I was talking about on the back side, which is this piece right here. If we just leave it, that's still gonna create a spot that needs to take a little bit longer. So we'll get the knife and just cut right through it, butterfly that out a little bit, and then now we've got a fairly uniform, thick piece of meat that we can cook any way that you like, and it should be ready to go. Should be able to season up. So that is how you basically prepare a chicken breast for grilling, smoking, or cooking on your stovetop.